So if you just started out with Kingdom Comes Deliverance 2 and you're finding it a little bit difficult in the beginning, fear not. I think that is going to be a common thing for a lot of players because the game doesn't really hold your hand and it is going to start you out really at the bottom. You know, you're pretty much basically a beggar in the beginning. You have no clothes, you have no items, you're scrounging from odd job here to odd job there, trying to get a little bit of money just to find yourself something to eat, and it is going to make life a bit difficult. But if you're struggling out and you want to get a good sense of what direction to go and how to get things going, watch this guide. I'm going to talk about how to get yourself some gear, get some money, get your companions like your horse, your dog, how that all works, what the best way of starting this game out, and which way should you go about doing things. So the first thing you want to do is when you get to this town, Treskowitz, you're going to want to speak to this woman that's going to be there. She's a beggar as well, I believe. She looks like Little Red Riding Hood. She's basically going to give you the direction of what quests and what points of interest you can start things off with. She's going to tell you where you can go to learn how to basically get a trainer to do combat. She's going to tell you to visit the blacksmith. She's going to tell you basically all the little things you want to do to get things started. One of the things she does point you out in the direction of is the blacksmith. The blacksmith's going to probably be the first and most important thing you're going to want to do in the beginning. The blacksmith is up a little bit north to this town of Tachov, and that is going to be up here. Now this village is going to have the blacksmith. You're going to want to come down here to the blacksmith, and the blacksmith is going to basically kind of take you in, and you can do a little bit of dialogue with him. It's pretty easy skill check and convince him that you have experience as a blacksmith, and you can then work for him and he'll give you a place to stay as well. It's basically gonna be like your home. This will be your bed. You're gonna have to want to sleep in this bed, because if you sleep in other people's beds, bad things can happen. You know, they can kick you out of the bed, call the guard, and you could get in a lot of trouble for that. Believe me, I've actually slept in someone's bed accidentally once and I got a whipping literally for doing that. So be careful of that. But otherwise, if you do end up staying in this bed, you will have no downsides. Essentially, you can use this as a place to store your items as well. He gives you a room with its own chest and whatnot. Other than that, the blacksmith is also going to teach you how to do some smithing. He's going to teach you how to make swords, how to make some other items, and then you can sell it to him for a little bit of a profit. And he's also going to basically be a vendor, which you can then use to repair your items and whatnot. Now, the blacksmith is also going to give you some quests. He's going to set you in some directions of other towns or other villages, and he's going to basically send you on a quest to go find his lost caravan. And that is going to basically get you started off with the direction of the game. So first thing you want to do is you want to go to the blacksmith here. Very important to get that done. Another quest line which the beggar / Red Riding Hood in Treskowitz will end up giving you is the quest line to the master jeweler or the trainer, which you can find near Nomad's camp. He's just in front of it, and you can also cheese this battle. He's going to require you to basically do some combat with him, some training sequences. He'll teach you how to do some easy combos, and you can also learn a master strike ability, which will allow you to basically counter your opponent's attacks with an unblockable attack. And that's a very, very powerful attack. It's only available for swords, and I believe it's probably one of the strongest combat abilities in the entire game. Makes you definitely want to use a sword. To unlock this, you're going to have to beat him in a duel where he will use Master Strike on you. It's a bit of a difficult duel, but you can kind of cheese this duel by putting on a potion on your sword. So basically, you can go to the woman. She's in Nomad's camp. You can buy them from other places as well, and you can put on Bane on your sword, and then if you hit him, it'll basically poison him, and you can kind of just get one hit to him and then just block for most of the rest of the sequence, and that will basically allow you to deal with the duel, and then he will teach you Master Strike. You can practice a bit on him with Master Strike. You can get a good feel for it. It's going to take a little bit of timing and getting used to, because you basically have to attack in the exact opposite direction of where your opponent or your enemy is attacking you. And then if you time it right, you will basically do a counter attack, which is unblockable, do some decent damage, and it's going to be one of the most effective fighting methods in the game, which you definitely want to pick up here early on. It'll make combat a lot easier for the rest of the game, and you're going to want to do that as early as you can, because like I said, that is going to give you a very, very big advantage going forward in the game if you can pick this up early on. And then you're going to want to come down to this town called Samin, which is way down here. Samin is going to be when one of the main quests are going to be, or one of the main side quests at least is going to be, and this is also going to be where you're going to find a horse stable. If you go on out down to the back here, you're going to find a bunch of horses on a field. One of the horses is going to be Pebbles, which is actually the horse you started in the game with. Now, Pebbles is going to be here because basically, minor spoiler alert, someone here did end up basically buying Pebbles from some thugs or some bandits, and he ended up buying your horse at a very cheap rate. You can then speak to him. You can find him. He's sometimes in the tavern at night. During the day, he's typically out on the field near the horses. You do want to talk to him, and he is going to basically allow you to get back your horse. Now, it's a pretty simple skill check. I'm not sure if you even can fail it, to be honest, but you can talk to him and then you'll be able to get your horse back. And that is going to be very important, because without your horse, if you get any of the wild horse or you steal someone else's horse, whilst it does offer you some temporary transportation, it is not going to give you a permanent mount. You won't be able to call the horse. That's the most important thing. Be able to call your horse whenever you need is actually very, very crucial. And this is going to help you get around the map and get from different points of interest or different quests very quickly. So very important to get that. You can also obviously talk to this guy and buy other horses in the future if you get enough money. They're quite expensive, but you can also talk to him and buy yourself future mounts in if you do end up wanting that. But in the beginning, you just want to get your own horse. It's basically free, and it is going to be a great way to get around the map. So once you've done that, I suggest what you end up doing is actually trying to get Mutt back. Now, Mutt is going to be one of the secondary objectives. You can end up opening up your journal and looking for the appropriate quest line for Mutt. It's a bit of a process. You're going to have to go around the map a couple of places and a bit of a goose chase, honestly. You have to, it's a whole quest line to get Mutt back. But Mutt is going to be a companion. It's going to be your first companion. It's going to basically allow you to have a, someone to watch your back and help you out in combat quite a bit, which is quite nice, along with some other benefits as well. But Mutt is going to be a nice way to get a companion very early on. Now comes the point of money. So if you're just starting out, you're obviously going to be struggling with money, and it is actually, the game doesn't really give you a whole lot of easy ways to get money. Most of the objectives in the game in the beginning are going to require you to, basically get paid very little. I mean, people are paying like 20, sometimes 50, which isn't really that much. But if you do want to earn a decent amount of money, what you can end up doing is you can go to the town of Truskowitz. Now, this is going to basically be, there's going to be plenty of ways to do some of the things to this, but simply for the fact that if you're a new player and you're just getting in, you're probably going to be around the starting town. So I'm going to keep the guide for you. There are going to be other versions of this type of method, but it's basically going to be involving theft, pickpocketing. You want to save. Make sure you buy yourself a Schweppes so that you are able to save the game. You can buy that in a merchant nearby as well, and you're going to want to save the game, because if you don't, it's going to be pretty difficult, because if the guards catch you, you're going to get in a lot of trouble, and you do not want to be getting on the bad side of the guards. Just save the game, put a save point before you do any of the sneaking and any of the thievery, and then you want to sneak on over here to the stable, and then you're going to want to pickpocket this guy. Now, pickpocketing is a whole little mini game. You can test it out a couple of times. It'll take some getting used to. Go to the chest. There's a chest up here right by where he's sleeping. Open that, get some free stuff. Then you want to go downstairs, just go into the courtyard here, take a left, go to the door. You can open it with the key, and then you are going to be able to just basically loot this chest. It's going to have a whole bunch of armor, weapons. It's going to be great value. You can use it to sell this early on, and it's going to get you a lot of money. That being said, though, you will notice that there's going to be an icon on the gear that is going to, this little red hand icon, that is going to mean that it's stolen. Now, when items are stolen, you're not going to get as much value from them. So you're going to want to sleep a couple of days. 2 or 3 days should do it, and that is going to remove the stolen icons from most of your stuff. Then you can go down to the shopkeeper in the town and you can sell your items there. Another method in this town, which you can use on the same run to get a lot of money, is you can then go to this little room over here. You can lockpick it. Now, lockpicking is going to be a whole other mini game. You'll have to figure that one out again. Once again, I recommend saving in certain points here, so that once you do a certain section, if you fail the next section, you can then just roll back a little bit rather than having to redo everything. So try as much schnapps as you can, and that is going to allow you to basically make multiple saves so that you don't end up losing too much progress if you fail. Because I struggled a little bit in the first tried it out. There was, it's not difficult to get caught when you do this, actually. So you want to break into this house. You're going to want to go upstairs. Look at these people on the beds. You're going to want to steal keys from him. Now, take note, the guy over here, he does have 2 keys in his inventory. So you might actually need to pickpocket him once or twice. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel like you've got enough time, just try, get 1 key, and then do the process again. Get the 2nd key, and then you want to steal the key from the other guy on the bed, and then you want to go down, back out. You want to go up this little walkway or staircase up here, go into this bedroom, and steal everything inside. They're going to have a whole bunch of books. These books do sell for some decent value. So take all the books you can, and then you're going to want to head on to this little outhouse. The back here is a place where no one actually really notices, and then no one really comes to check. You're going to want to sleep in there and wait a couple of days. Once you're done with that, go to the shopkeeper and sell all the stuff to. Now, if he runs out of money, because he does actually have a limit on how much he can sell, you're going to want to end up saving. Well, not saving, but rather going back again after you exhaust his money supply, and then sleeping another day, allowing him to replenish his currency, and that will allow you to sell some more stuff to him. Now, you can do this a couple of times. It's going to take a couple of days for the items to refresh. You can basically repeat this process, but this is going to basically be a nice way to cheese money early in the game. Stealing stuff is actually quite a nice way to make money, but you do have to know how to get into certain rooms. And yeah, there's going to be plenty of exploits like this in plenty of different towns or villages, so you can discover some for yourself. But otherwise, stealing is actually going to be a great way to make money early on, as long as you don't get caught, of course. If you get caught, it is going to end up being pretty bad for you. Now, if you do end up getting caught, people are going to notice if things go missing. So if you go into a room in the middle of the day and you steal a whole bunch of stuff and then you leave the room, they might notice that you're the last one out. You got to be sneaky about how you do it, because people are obviously in this game going to be kind of smart and figure out who is stealing their stuff sometimes. But that is going to be giving you a bunch of money. Now, another very important tip, if you don't know, Mutt, you can command to leave or go back home, so to speak. And if you do end up sending Mutt home, it can be difficult to find Mutt because it's kind of not very clear where Mutt ends up going to. But basically what you want to do if you do end up sending Mutt home is you're going to want to come down to this place over here called Zelejov Wagoner's Inn. Now, if you go to this place over here, there is going to be an innkeeper there, and you can he's basically like looking after your dog for you. You can ask him to get your dog back, and that will be it. So you can get your dog back pretty easily that way. So that's going to basically give you a nice starting point in this game. You get some money, get your dog, get your horse, get a place to stay, and that is going to be your basically essentials for getting into this game. Because I do think at the beginning it is a little bit tricky. You don't really have clothes, you don't have any items, you don't have anything going for you, and it can be very difficult starting out. So I would definitely recommend that you do follow this guide, at least in the beginning, get all that checked out, and then you can have fun at the game because you'll have a lot better gear and you'll be able to, kind of keep control of things quite nicely. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section below how you finding Kingdom Come Deliverance and what are your questions about the game. If you have any other topics that you're confused about and want me to cover in a future video, let me know in the comment section below and I will look into that. Anyway, take care everyone, and bye bye.